As we settle in, feel the hug of gravity beneath you. The loving hug of our tiny little planet, floating in space on our shortest day and our longest night of the year. Feel the breath entering your nostrils and traveling through nasal passages down into lung tissue, expanding your rib cage. Feel into the mystery of the diaphragm moving. The next book I'm going to read is by Dacher Keltner, a Berkeley professor who wrote several books. The one I'm interested in is The Transformative Power of Everyday Wonder. And one of the quotes from the book, I heard this discussed on a Tara Brach podcast, is the feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends your current understanding of the world. And Keltner posits that awe is almost always nearby and is a pathway to healing and growing in the face of the losses and traumas that are a part of life. So think for a few moments of the times that you felt wonder and awe. Let these memories reverberate through your tissues. The experience of wonder and awe. And realize that this is a genetic capacity for us to feel this wonder. And he talks in his book about Jane Goodall noticing this awe on the faces of chimpanzees when they come across a waterfall. And they see the waterfall and their face transforms and their eyes get that mystical look of somebody seeing something wonderful. Keltner's invitation is for us to linger in those moments of wonder, those experiences of positive awe, and that in doing so, we train our brains, our bodies, our hormones to look for this beauty, this mystery. So let's turn our gazes inward and feel into the mystery of the breath. Invited deep into the body. Invited to move through the bloodstream, to ripple the waters in our bodies and move the lymph. See if you can settle in to noticing these small and large wonders inside your own physical form. Let your mind settle for a moment on the mystery of how we heal. Our bodies, minds, and hearts, they're designed to want to heal, to continue on healthy and at ease. Let's take some breaths into this potential. And then drawing your attention to any parts of your body today that want your healing attention. See if you can smile inward towards them. Let them know you're paying attention. That really this practice of yoga is the practice of celebrating body, mind, heart, spirit, the mystery of this union. Let's invite life force energy in to circulate towards our healing, and then send energy outward towards the healing of others. The healing of cultures and nations and regions of our planet. Breathing into the wonder of our interconnectedness. On this longest night and shortest day of the year, as we open into cycles that move us back towards light. Let's breathe into our own heartfelt intentions and wishes. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May this practice help us bring harmony inside our own bodies and hearts, minds and spirits. And may this ripple outward into our families, our communities, our world. Namaste. Okay, let's come to standing. And let's begin with a little fluid motion today. Let's let ourselves wash gently side to side. And remember, if you're healing, that you take the motions smaller. Make it a practice of making the motions as small as you can, at least for part of the movement. It's good for all of us. Like, how subtly can we sway? And how does that feel in our bodies? And then maybe the sway gets larger and larger, and then we come back towards subtle, feeling into the myofascial web moving at whatever range of motion or different ranges of motion feel good to us today. Let it be an experiment with the gaze turned inward, pratyahara, the senses turned inward. Feel the motion and ask yourself, could I make this simple movement more easeful in my body? For me, it's a matter of relaxing the arms a little more, not feeling like they have to work the whole time. And let's ground the feet and invite the arms to lift up to the left and come down to the right in a circle. Spreading the feet wide open on the earth as we inhale the arms up. Invite water and nutrients and energy up from the earth through the soles of your feet. Feel into the cycles of night and day, of the shifting seasons. And feel into being here for this shortest day of our year in your body. Let the arms come down low and inhale them up to the right and exhale. And let the body sway and move and feel into the fabric of your body, the flow of your breath, this moment of your life. And then let the arms land down low for a moment. Feet outer hip distance wide. Inhale the backs of the hands up the center channel and exhale. Stretch the palms out, fingers spread. Inhale, look out over your left fingertips. And exhale around to the right and inhale. And exhale, release your wings. And inhale up the center channel of the body. And exhale, press the hands out. Inhale, look right. Exhale across to the left. And inhale. And exhale back to center with the gaze, releasing the arms. And then roll one shoulder up, back, and down, and the other. And again, sway across the body, inviting movements and flow. Coming into these gentle stretches of the whole fascial web. And then perhaps the elbow circles, perhaps not. Perhaps you stay with the shoulders. Whatever you do, can you invite space into the body? And if you're a type A, 110%, back off a little. Enjoy the fluid motion and the spaciousness of not trying too hard. And then perhaps open the arm and backstroke, perhaps not. Swaying side to side. Gentle movements can help us open the fascia. Sometimes when we move too large, the body grips back. Maybe you make the focus be more on reaching high instead of reaching wide. Maybe the reaching wide feels better in your matrix. And then release your hands to your sides. Palms up, inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, gently roll the spine forward. Now remember, this could be very subtle. It could be just around the heart in the upper spine and neck and head. Or you can bend the knees and flow up the spine and roll the spine so the head comes down towards earth. Larger waves of movement. But remember, bigger isn't better. Find what feels good in your body and experiment with the different layers and possibilities of this movement. You might get more chest, neck, heart expansion, more front neck flexor strengthening if you stay with the flow in the upper body. There's an assumption often in our culture that bigger is better. Slow it down. Invite subtlety. And really feel into the fabric of your body and what it's telling you as you move. What it's requesting from you as you become more the water inside. And then come back to stillness. Feel into a three-dimensional breath, inviting the whole circle of your lowest ribs to open. Let the arms traction down away from the shoulder girdle and invite space between the humerus bone and the shoulder girdle. And step your feet wide. And bring your arms up in a cactus position, spreading your hands and fisting them and spreading them and fisting, opening and closing, pulsing the hands. And then exhale, cat curl the spine, and inhale, open the arms and palms and lift the heart. And exhale, and in, fluid breath. Again, you could do this motion with a straight spine. If bending forward feels like it puts too much pressure in the lower back, you could just subtly move. If it feels good, let yourself come lower. And now exhale the movement and fill the shape with breath as you pause. And then exhale the movement and fill the shape with breath. Really let your attention reside in the mysteries inside your own body. And coming back up into the cactus, reach your arms skyward and stretch your fingers wide open and fist and stretch and reach your shoulders up to hug around your ears. And then release your shoulders away. And as you stretch the hands, lift the shoulders to the ears. And as you fist, release the head of the arm bone down. Lift and stretch, release, lift and stretch, release. One more, release. And then open the hands and just gently shake them. Let the hands release tension down the myofascia of the arms, releasing lymph towards the lymph nodes. Release. And then pause, arms high, and feel in as the waters flow down out of the hands, down the arms. Notice the sensations. I see you, I feel you, I'm here to experience this day, this body, this daily wonder. And then release your arms open, palms flat on the water at the horizon, Straighten the legs, turning your left foot out, right heel back. And turn your palms up and inhale. And exhale, draw energy right down into your star pose. And inhale. And exhale at your own pace. Invite the prana in to circulate through the whole body, out to the farthest regions. Life force energy into the very tips of your fingers and toes. And then next time your hands come to the heart, bend the front knee, Virabhadrasana 2, and open your palms. Look, gaze out over your front hands and see if you can soften the eyes and relax for a momentary pause into the posture. Feel the shape. Can you fine-tune it towards ease? This shortest day of the year, this longest night, invites us to pause. Now release the back fingertips down, front palm rises, dancing warrior, relaxing at the collar. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. And then we straighten the leg, flow up and over into our high trikonasana, long spine. Remember, you don't have to bend far, lifting through the pelvic floor, lengthening through the crown chakra. Pull that sleeve of energy up your spine. Shoulder blades, loving hands on your back body. With the legs straight, exhale up, lift the front palm, dancing triangle. The collar relaxing away from the skull. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Filling this unique, wonderful body with prana. Floating the arms back up. Let's turn the left leg in and right leg out and open into star pose, drawing the breath down into the body. Inhaling earth and sky, exhaling them through as a cleanse. A winter solstice cleanse. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. Inviting the breath into the back lungs. And then next time, hands come to the heart, bend the front knee and open into your Virabhadrasana 2 and rest. Feet wide open on the floor, grounding the four corners. We don't overwork the feet, but we honor the arches. Feeling up the legs, we create stability for the pelvis so that we can lengthen the spine skyward, feel the shoulder blades lovingly hugging the back body, supporting the heart. And then front palm turns up and we lift into our dancing warrior, relaxing the collar away from the skull, releasing tension around the neck, relaxing the face into a gentle smile, and feeling into the wonder of how that smile can change the sensations in the body. And then exhale, straightening the front leg, canter your body over into your high trikonasana, rooting from the pelvis into the earth, lengthening the spine skyward at an angle. Let yourself be a star in the night sky. And legs straight. Float the front palm up again, dancing triangle. Fluid breath. Let the breath flow in and invite the tissue to relax into your shape. That may mean moving out of the shape slightly to find the opening. And then we release the arms open, turn the right leg in, and step together, mountain pose. Fluid breath. Now root the feet deep into the earth from the four corners. Feel into the whole circumference of your heel, the circumference of your big toe ball mound, even the little circumference of your pinky toe ball mound. Relax the toes. Feel up the backs of your legs to your buttocks and find that hip ring that moves from under your buttocks around the outer hip towards your pubic bone. Let it gently hug in. Let that hip ring hug in while you fill the belly and low back with breath. Notice how you can stabilize the lower body and still breathe openly into the lower abdomen. Now place the weight on one foot, four corners grounded, and lift the other foot towards your Vrksasana tree pose. Whether you're coming into kickstand or resting the foot on your calf or on your inner thigh. And then float the arms up, shoulder blades on your back. Choose your tree today. Maple or eucalyptus or oak, pine or cypress or cedar. Whatever you'd like to be. And if you'd like to, let your limbs dance a little bit in a light breeze. Imagine you are that tree, rooted. Perhaps after 100 winter solstices, grounded on this lovely planet. Feel into the quiet wonder of the trees and the forests you've lived in. You can stay here or bring the lifted knee forward. Stay here or lift the leg into Padangusthasana and then release, mountain pose. See if you can soften your skin and invite the prana in through the pores. Let your fabric unravel a little. Share energy. Grounding into the next side, lift into your Vrksasana of choice. And float your lifting limbs. Maybe you're a weeping willow. Fluid breath. Maybe your limbs dance lightly in the wind, reminding us not to stiffen too much. Fluid breath. Play with growing the tree taller and then bending slightly in the wind. What parts of the matrix are you aware of now? And then bring lifted knee forward. And if you'd like to, straighten the leg and shine out of each limb and release. Mountain. fluid breath. Filling the torso, pulsating the body with breath, with prana. Relaxing into mountain. Breathing into the back body, into the dark spaces we don't always feel into. We don't need the next pose. We can feel into this breath. Invite this breath to open us up. Now, for a few breath cycles, extend your exhales. Make them slower and longer. And then step your feet wide again, turning the left foot out, right heel back, open into your star pose. Spine shining straight up from earth, bend the front knee, Virabhadrasana too, and bring your left hand to your femur, right arm alongside your ear for a high Parsvakonasana. Stay high. And exhale, heart bowing towards earth, and inhale, heart towards the heavens. And spend a few cycles of breath, exhaling towards earth and inhaling towards the heavens with a long spine and a long left arm. Feel into what stretches when you stay high and long. Notice, reach all the way through the fingers of the moving side. Invite the breath to ripple through the body into any tight tissue. Now you can stay high, or if you'd like to, come lower, keeping the spine long and bowing the heart and lifting the heart. Feel into how the stretch changes. Four corners of the feet root, but the toes aren't overly gripping. We learn to rely on the four corners and three arches of the feet. You can stay with this flow or lift into a neutral Parsvakonasana and rainbow the right side body over, breathing into the lift of the right side body tissue. Exhaling the relax and release back towards earth. Pausing to feel the pose. And then inhaling fully. Exhale through pursed lips, activating your core to float back up to Vira 2 and then into your dancer. Let your gaze rise towards the sky, out into the heavens. This mystery of where we are, this celebration of our bodies moving on this little tiny planet in space. And then straightening the front leg, turn your left leg in, right leg out, take the left heel back, open star pose. Bend the knee into your Vira 2 and come into Parsvakonasana with the right arm straight. Really try to stretch the whole length of the spine, tailbone reaching down, both sides of the spine long. Draw energy up the sleeve of the spine and then exhale, heart towards earth. Inhale, heart towards the heavens. We want to open this myofascial matrix, not over compress any of the joints. So we create space along the spine first. And maybe we stay with this spacious practice. Maybe we come lower onto our forearm and bow the heart towards earth and inhale the heart towards heaven. Fluid breath, pulsing the body. Feel into your fabric and let the body know, oh yes, I feel you. I'm witnessing you. I'm honoring you. Lifting back up into your Parsvakonasana. If you'd like to, rainbow the left side body over the right and breathe into the stretching tissue. Relaxing it open on the exhales. Remember this idea of loosening the weave of the fabric of your body. See if you can loosen it on the exhales, especially on the left side. And then rooting into the feet, exhaling through pursed lips, float back up to Viratu, straighten the front leg and turn it in and step the feet together, mountain pose. Fluid breath. Shoulder blades, loving hands on the back body, a gentle lift to the heart. Feel into that hip ring and ground your roots. Lift a ring at the navel, a ring at the low ribs, a ring at the mid-chest. Lift the collar and the base of the skull and the eye band. And now breathe into the spacious spine. You could stay here, feeling into this mountain, breathing it open, or step one toe forward and exhale, bend, wings come down, inhale, lift. Exhale, release, and inhale, float skyward. Let yourself be an owl today. Bird of the night, fluid, quiet. Even as you fly, can you breathe into the back body, the back ribs, expanding our lung capacity, expanding our awareness of the back lung tissue. And then land this side and step the other foot forward and inhale and exhale. Fluid breath. What happens if you lean back onto the whole circumference of your heel? What happens if you bring the weight forward or off to the side of the foot? Experiment enough that you find where it's easiest to balance. Experiment with the mysteries of the body. And then land. And bring in a block to place beside your left foot. Have the block be forward so that just your toes kind of align with the back of the block. And then inhale up again. We're coming into Garuda Asana. We'll float through a few flying owls. And we'll lift then the right foot and bring it over to the block. Now pausing on the block, you can bend your knees a little more, hug the legs together, press them down, and bring your left wing over your right. You could bring hands back to back at the heart, or you can cross at the elbow and bring the hands palm to palm. Take the elbows away from the chest and let the head and eyes rest back. Feel into the four corners of your standing foot and perhaps take weight off the foot on the block. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. Honoring the eagle as it sits in the high tree. Breathing into the whole circumference of the torso. And then exhaling. Hands release, arms come down. We inhale, float up, and land. Mountain pose. Head resting back, eyes relaxed in their sockets, jaw released. Relax the muscles of your face if you can. Invite a slower exhale. Slowing our pace to appreciate this shortest day of the year. Let's reach down and move the block off to the right side of the right foot. And then inhale, come into flight again. Beautiful. And inhale, lifting the leg up and over, standing onto the block, knees bending, hugging the legs together. Fluid breath into the whole circumference of the torso. Bring the right arm over the left into your chosen arm position. Rest your body back. Find the four corners of your standing foot, the three arches, and see, can you float the other foot off or at least lighten the weight of the other foot, building strength in the standing leg. Fluid breath. Deep breath. Extending the exhales. And then as you're ready, slowly lowering your wings, releasing into flight and landing in mountain. Three-dimensional breath. Softening the fabric of our skin, inviting breath in through each pore. Relaxing the jaw and the eyes and the muscles of the face. Soft knees, let your arms begin to swing. Those of you who aren't twisting, just see if you can release the arms and let them dangle out of the shoulder socket, creating space. Those of you that are twisting, allow the twist up the spine. Really let the arm bones traction away from the shoulder girdle. Invite a depth into the shoulders, an opening of space. Relax the elbows and the wrists and the fingers and the palms. Let it all hang heavy away from the shoulder girdle. Perhaps you'll even feel the shoulder girdle tractioning away from the neck. And let the front hand come up and knock the lung, and the back hand come up and knock the kidney, knocking on the door of life. welcoming in the solstice celebration. And then letting the arms dangle and move again. Coming back to stillness, to the quiet mountain and the open sky. Can you stand with ease? Subtly shift the body towards the easiest stance possible so that it's more like you're floating in a standing shavasana. The fabric of the body softening. Okay. Let's take our chair or our piece of furniture so that the back faces us for Parsvottanasana. Some of you may want to come down to blocks. And let's step. Right foot forward, left foot back, and take a rock step. And grounding the feet, we'll inhale, reach for the sky. Do a slight standing back bend as you root from the pelvis and the hip ring down, and lift the heart, lengthening the spine. And then exhale forward into Parsvottanasana, drawing your front hip crease back. You can either step back from the furniture or press your chair forward, lengthening the spine. Come into deep breath. Feel in right into the tissues of the hips, the hamstrings, the spine, wherever you find tension. Breathe into that stiffness and invite it to relax on the exhale. Make sure you're not so deep into the pose that you're stiffening. And if you'd like to, you can walk a little lower into the pose as long as you're hinging from the pelvis. Lifting the inner arch of the back foot up through the lift of the inner knee, through the pelvic floor. We hinge the spine and lengthen. Then we feel into the mystery of this myofascial web and we invite it to open where it's stiff and tight for more ease in our movement overall during the day. Three-dimensional fluid breath. If the breath isn't fluid, you've gone too deep into the pose. And then slowly walk back up and lift. Hands through the heart, mountain pose. Now remember, you could do this pose up high with fingertips on a wall, or you can continue to lower down. Do what's best for your body. Rock step, now left foot forward. Ground the feet and inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips as you come towards the chair, pressing it gently forward. Long spine traction, the pelvis back behind you. Find a lift from underneath the spine to support the lumbar spine from overarching. If you'd like to, come lower in the pose. Breathe into this myofascial matrix of your body. That looks good, John. Fluid breath. Imagine someone's massaging you right at the back of the heart and see if you can melt that spot open as you traction the pelvis back. Nice alignment of your heads, Anna and Terry. Fluid breath. Beautiful hinge, Jory. Debbie. fluid breath. And then as you're ready, gently walk yourselves back up. Transition into that lift, open the heart, and relax, stepping your feet together, mountain pose. Let your hands shake, your knees bounce, let your wrists release, your elbows, your shoulders. Let the body shake and shake and shake. Releasing any hypertonic muscles. This is a day to celebrate. We can tell those muscles, you get to relax. And then pause the shaking. Feel right down deep into your spine, rooting the pelvis into the feet. Lengthen the spine skyward, feeling up the spine with your consciousness. Letting your head really rest back over the spine. Shoulder blades strong on the back body, heart open. Breathe a buoyancy to the heart. Rock step. Right foot forward, left foot back. Inhale, float your arms skyward, coming into your gentle back bend. Exhale, float forward again into your Parsvottanasana. Take your chair forward or step back and float up into your Virabhadrasana 3, toes pointing towards the floor. Fluid breath. With the right leg forward, release the right hand from the chair and float the right shoulder up like a wing. You can stay here working on the strength of this asymmetry, or you could release the left wing. Float it up, shoulder blades on the back, reaching through the extended heels. Some of you may want to bring the arms alongside your ears, keeping the back of the neck long, toes towards the floor. And then release, hands to the chair, foot to the floor. Bend your knees. And bring your hands to your heart, float back, Utkatasana. Deep, fluid breath as you reach through your strong legs into the four corners of your open feet. Breathing deep into the back body. Inviting prana into the darkness of your own body. Let the pelvis traction away from the head. And then release the arms and reach skyward. Interlace the fingers, thumbs to the base of the skull. Pick up the skull. Rest the head into the hands, standing back bend. Remember, you have that hip band on and your pubic bone and tailbone stay aligned. And you may release the arms and lengthen from the feet through the fingers. Breathing into the whole fabric of the body. Let the prana ripple through you. And exhale, hands through the heart, mountain pose. Step the left foot forward, right foot back. Right? Switching sides. I think that's right. Okay. Inhale, float your arms up. And exhale, fold forward into your Parsvottanasana. Stretch the pelvis back for a moment and then bend the front knee and lift up. So for me, that means pushing the chair forward. Lift up into your Virabhadrasana 3. Now standing on the left leg, long and strong through the spine, even the neck. You may release the left wing and float the left shoulder blade onto the back. Really good myofascial sling strengthening here. Strengthening the connections from your left shoulder to your right buttock, from your left low rib to your right hip pointer. If you'd like to release the right wing, do so. And if you'd like to lengthen the arms alongside the ears. Fluid breath. You're coming into your Vira 3. Really feel for strong shoulder blades on the back body. Yeah, it's a lot of work in that leg. Beautiful, Susie. Fluid breath. Nice, strong pose, Jory. Lifting up from beneath the navel, lengthen through the spine. Nice length, Jill. And release. Stepping down, come in to your mountain pose. Pause in mountain with a breath. Invite the breath to stretch the whole circumference of the torso. Bring your hands right up to the hip creases and bend your knees, moving towards an Utkatasana position. And then gently cat curl the spine. If it's comfortable, let the head release forward and invite the breath into your back body. Invite the breath to create space between your back ribs and your vertebrae. And then lengthening the spine again, bring your hands to your heart, Utkatasana. Standing strong and firm down into the ground with the legs. Fluid breath. Release the hands and inhale, lift towards the sky. Interlace the fingers the funny way, thumbs to the base of the skull, lift. Pelvis stays in neutral. We are not pressing it forward. We're keeping it under the body as we lift through the elbows and lift the skull. Now feel into that hip ring and draw the energy sleeve up the whole length of your spine. Like you could stretch the whole spine as you draw this kind of tight and supportive sleeve up the spine, through the skull, out the crown chakra. And if you'd like to, release the arms so that you are a standing rainbow. Fluid breath. And exhale. Release. I saw a few rainbows in Hawaii, and we expect that. But the other day, driving home from Tahoe, I saw a rainbow. It doesn't happen as often. Let's bring our chair in, and let's come to sitting. Bring your blocks forward and your legs wide. Spinal health is really important for us because it's the center channel of our bodies. And so here we sit, legs wide open, sit bones at the front of the chair, spine long, shoulder blades on the back, palms on the femur bones grounding us. Now imagine you have little buoys under your armpits that could lift you skyward, lengthening your side bodies. And let the left arm come out beside the ear. Oops. Press into your right hand and lengthen the spine even more. In fact, stay in this position with the spine and see, can you lift the right arm? And stretch both sides of the spine long. Keep that right side of the spine long, bring the arm back down. Keep that right side of the spine long. Maybe you come to the forearm. We stretch from the pelvis. Reach back with the left sit bone. Stretch the left side body. And perhaps gently rainbow the left side open. Fluid breath. You can stay in the long position or rainbow, whatever's best for you. And then exhale through pursed lips. Activate the core to float back up. Left hand to femur, right arm alongside the ear, and stretch. Stretch both sides long. Lift the left arm. Stretch both sides long. Really root through the pelvis. Lift through the pelvic floor. Draw that sleeve up the spine. Bring the left hand back down. Long in the right side. Perhaps you come to your forearm. Oh, breathe into opening the fabric. It's like we're going to have a size larger inside the body that we can float into spaciously. And let that right arm gently rainbow over. Fluid, three-dimensional breath, stretching the fabric. And float yourselves back up to sitting. Feel into the fabric of the body as we work, and notice if there's some opening happening. Now, lengthening the spine, gently take your right ear towards your right shoulder. Let your left arm open, palm up away, and take the left thumb back. Let the gaze look down towards the right knee, and maybe nod your head yes, just slightly. Fluid breath. Ah, yes, I see you, I feel you. Thank you for all the work you do. Let's relax into the stretch and celebrate this body. And then release back to sitting. Long neck, left ear gently towards left shoulder, right palm up, right thumb back. Gaze towards the left knee. Perhaps a gentle nodding yes. Fluid breath. Experiment with the position. Is it better with the arm lower, middle, higher, back, forward? And then release the tension of the stretch before you come back to center and draw a circle with your nose. We want to open the whole web. Feel in beneath your skull. Feel in along the sides of your vertebrae of your neck. Into the top tissue of the shoulders. And down into the upper, low back, and chest. Let your whole focus be on sensing what is happening here. And then gently take your circles the other way. Notice what feels good, what doesn't. If there are any places your body says, oh gosh, I'd love you to pause right there, then do so. Breathing into the pause, bringing harmony into this myofascial web. Come back to sitting. Walk your legs towards each other and bring the right ankle up over the left femur bone. And keep the sorry, I gave you the wrong direction. Okay, keep the right foot flexed and inhale, lengthen towards the sky. Now for some of you, that's going to be enough hip stretch. If it feels like it's straining your knee, then come more into a cross-legged position rather than the figure four position. If you're in the figure four and you want to go farther, inhale, lift. And exhale, begin to hinge forward towards the shin. Fluid breath. Make sure you don't come so far that the body grips back in reaction and you can't relax on the exhales. Find the place where you can invite the tissue to open on the exhales, even if it's sitting up here. Fluid breath. Now expand across the heart center. Find your shoulder blades on the back and lengthen the neck so that we're working the strength of our upper body right now as well. Let the hyoid bone rest back and in. Keep lengthening the back of your neck. Beautiful. This is a wonderful place to practice the upper body strengthening while we stretch open the hips. Now, can you take that navel ring away from the pelvis? The low rib ring lifts, the chest ring lifts, the collar, the jaw, the eye ring. Lengthen the spine. And then release. Switch sides. I'm having trouble doing the backward sides today. Keep your lifted leg, foot flexed, and inhale, lengthen your spine. If you have the habit of flaring your ribs, check that. Reach your tailbone long, draw up the front spine to support it all the way through the neck. If we tend to let the belly go forward, we also tend to let the neck go forward. So we want to draw energy up that front spinal channel, shoulder blades on the back and broad. And then we hinge. Shoulder blades on the back and strong. A breath deep down into the tissue of the hip. Can we offer our awareness to the hip and the stretch and the tissue, while we also offer awareness to the strong shoulders and the lengthening back of the neck? Expanding our awareness through the mystery of the body. Drawing energy up the front of the spine. Lift the navel ring away from the pelvis, the chest ring, the collar, the skull, the eye band. Long spine, strong spine. You can work your core right here. And then exhale back up and release. Pause with one hand resting inside the other, thumbs touching. Fluid breath. Breathing into the back body. Open the legs into Uttanasana Konasana and fold forward to your props. Inhale your cow and exhale your cat. Some of you may be on fingertips, on high blocks. Some of you may be on medium blocks. Fluid breath. Now, can you keep the knees open over your second metatarsals? Come to neutral in the spine and fold into your seated downward dog. When you get here, see if you can wrap your fingers over the front of the block and traction the spine a little bit. And then perhaps let the shoulder girdle bob side to side, gently rocking, opening the myofascial matrix. In the armpit and the shoulder, down deep into the hips. Some of you will be able to come off the blocks entirely and stretch your arms forward. Don't do this if it ends up cat curling your spine. Those of us who had the flexibility to come forward in teacher training, we'd bring our hands up onto fingertips, lifting the palms. Then you're less likely to collapse into your shoulders. Lift the armpits. Long spine, shoulder girdle released away from your ears. Deep three-dimensional breath into the mystery of the possible harmonizing of this myofascial web. And then walk your hands back and float up again into your seat. The opposite hand resting into hand, thumbs touching. Circulating energy through the body. It's really good for the lymph system when we hinge like that and we put compression on the lymph vessels and then we release and we open them. So in the groins, we were pressing and releasing. Okay, let's come up and come down to the floor. Let's have our chair ready to put our legs on later. And have your eye pillow, your sweaters, your bolster for under your sacrum if you want to do waterfall pose today. You could also do lying along the long blanket roll at the end. So if you want to get your blanket roll ready, you could do that. You could also lay long on your bolster if you're short enough. So think of what restorative you'll want to do after we stretch a little bit. And then come down to the floor. Feet can be even kind of close to your chair under it so that you can move towards it. And your bolster can be ready to come under your pelvis. And then just come gently into somatic walking. Let the back body relax on to earth. Let the back of the hands rest against the floor, palms up, thumbs out. And breathe into this fabric of the body. Relax into the hug of gravity. Relax the hinge of the jaw. Invite the eyes to fall back in their sockets. Feel the earth and the rock of your pelvis. And then come to stillness. And reach for your bolster and bring it underneath your pelvis. You could also use a yoga block. And pause in your supported bridge. If your low back feels pinched at all, lift the pelvis, reach the tailbone long for the backs of the legs. Set the pelvis down again and reach the shoulders away from the hips. Create space along the spine. And then lengthen one leg out over your prop. Now, if you have the chair there, some of you who can't bring the foot maybe all the way to the floor, I can rest my toe on the rung of the chair. And then I get a nice stretch along the psoas pathway without bringing the heel to the floor. I'm flexible enough, the heel can come to the floor, and that feels good. Now in this position, feel into your inner thigh. There's a little knob there called the inner trochanter. We want to release that towards the floor on the foot side of the bolster. Meanwhile, we want to breathe length through the pelvis to the lumbar spine. This stretches the psoas and the iliacus. Deep fluid breaths to massage the psoas open. Pratyahara, sense inward to this side stretch. Really feel it. And then release this leg back in and take the other leg long. Reaching out through the leg. Fluid breath. Releasing the inner thigh over the bolster, away from the lumbar spine. This is really important stretch for keeping the low back open. We spend a lot of time strengthening the psoas. We want to make sure we lengthen it as well. Notice if one side is tighter. You may feel the tightness into the hip joint or at the top of the pelvis into the spine. Really deep breath, massaging the psoas. And then if you'd like to, take both legs long. If that isn't comfortable for you, then come back to your bridge pose. Fluid breath into an opening psoas and a decompressing lumbar spine. And then walk the feet back in and draw one knee in towards the chest and then the other, and lift your feet towards the sky. Flex and point the toes, stretching the myofascia. Take your feet apart and circle the feet, stretching the myofascia of the legs. And now letting the lymph descend from the feet through the legs towards the groin. Now bring your right foot across and your left foot behind, across the body in a scissor sideways. Not forward to back, but side to side. And then open into a straddle and take the scissor the other way. And open and scissor and open and scissor. Now flex the feet. Open and scissor. Open and scissor. And now point the feet. Open and scissor. Open and scissor. Now floint the feet. Open and scissor. Open. So a floint is when you point the toes and then you draw the toes back. So the rest of the foot stays pointed, but the toes draw back towards your shins. Yeah, that's right, Debbie. Good. It's a different stretch of the feet and helps us spread from the big toe to the pinky toe because we're flexing the toes. Now come back to center and slowly relax the feet and take the feet towards your head, overhead, towards the Supta Paschimottanasana. Fluid breath. And if you'd like to, flex and point the feet here, stretching the myofascia in the backs of the legs, maybe into the buttocks and back and lower back. Fluid breath. Let the tissue you're feeling now know, I see you, I feel you. Thank you. I celebrate you right now. And then float the feet back towards the sky. And slowly lower one leg onto your chair and then the other. And rest in your waterfall pose. Bring in your eye pillow, your blankets, whatever you might need. This is the shortest day of the year, and solstice invites us to take some time to rest. So today I'm going to invite you to get really comfortable for a nervous system reset, for a deep relaxation. First, let's become aware of extending the exhales. Just a gentle slowing down of the exhale, lengthening of the exhale. Don't do this in any way that causes strain. Just playfully see how far you can extend and slow the exhale. And then feel into the pause at the bottom of the exhale and allow the pause to be there as long as it's comfortable. And then invite in the next inhale. Now see if you can invite your body to relax on the extending exhales, to deepen the relaxation all along the exhale. Invite the mind to settle into the rest, especially in the stillness at the base of the exhale. Now inhaling into the heart, draw in prana, life force, into your heart center. And visualize anybody or any body part you would like to send this energy, this heart, life force out to. And on your long, extended exhales, release this loving energy. And now see if you can rest into a still and quiet breath. Offer yourself the deep quiet of a winter night. Now gently draw energy back into your fingers and your toes. Draw in a few deep inhales. And listening to your unique and mysterious body stretch in whatever way it calls for. And then slowly begin. Take your time to unwind from your props, to stretch. And then gently rest. And as gently as you can, bring yourselves up to a comfortable seat. Well, we actually have some blue sky here on our shortest day of the year after a rain, at least at my house. Let's sit together just for a moment, feeling into our own bodies. It's pretty amazing to me how much we can change the sensations in the body in 1 hour and a half yoga practice. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May we be fully present, mind, body, heart, and spirit, with the wonderful mysteries around us. And may we experience some everyday awe on this winter solstice day. Namaste. Thank you for your practice.